Well, hey, all small groups and small group leaders, thanks so much for taking the time to dive into the scriptures, where we find really how to connect with God, and we learn about Jesus Christ, the one who connects us to Him. And from our sermon on Sunday and the text from Colossians chapter 1, verses 9 to 12, we saw that Paul prays for the Colossians. And his prayer is that they would be filled with all the knowledge of God's will. And his prayer that he continually prays for them is because he knows that unless they are truly filled with the knowledge, the information about who Jesus really is, they will not live the Christian life. They cannot live the Christian life. They cannot, for example, bear fruit, the fruit of love for one another. They cannot increase at all in their knowledge of God. They cannot at all find the strength that they need for the Christian life, and they will not be thankful to God at all for their inheritance that they have in light among all the saints. And so the point of the text is you must be filled to live. You must be filled with the life of Christ to live the life of Christ. You don't need anything else or anyone else. The issue is the Colossians. The reason Paul prays this way is because the Colossians, they started well in their faith, in their hope, and their love. But there were some teachers who were saying, you know what? Christ is really not the fullness of God in human form. He was a great teacher, but he wasn't God. And if you've come into him, if you've come into Christ in relationship with him, that's good, but you need some extra. You need a new vision. You need a new experience. You need gnosis. It's the word Gnosticism. You need special revelation. You need an extra experience or vision or a dream of some kind. You need to worship angels or connect with a spirit of some kind. Weird stuff. And the Colossians were starting to think, yeah, maybe that's true. We find this kind of teaching in the church today, where, Christ is great and he's maybe God and everything, but what we're really pursuing is an experience, a new vision. There's these prophets, so-called prophets, that say you need more extra, you need more vision of God to have special elite status and elite connection with God. And Paul just puts that to rest and says, no, absolutely not. All you need is what you already have, Christ. Christ is the fullness of God. You have everything that you need in him already. Now live into that. And so let me read his prayer, and then you guys can, there's some questions and the outline that I provided for you to walk through. Colossians chapter 1, and encourage you to open your Bible now, because we are a church that studies the text, reads the text, takes our cues from the text. And so from the day we heard, we have not ceased to pray for you, asking that you may be filled, there it is, with the knowledge, there it is, that's the mind. It's what we do with our mind. We fill our mind with truth, the knowledge of his will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding. And here's the purpose clause, verse 10, so as to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him. And so to be filled with Christ is the only way to please Christ and to live for Christ. It's the only way. And here's how it looks. 4 participles, mentioned this in the sermon: bearing fruit in every good work, which was love for one another, increase in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might for endurance and patience with joy, and giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. In other words, everything that they have to live the Christian life, they already have because they possess Christ, who is the fullness of God. They don't need anything else. And that's the message. You don't need anything else except what you already have. You don't need any special connection to God in addition to the one that you already have. You need Christ for the Christian life. You need Christ to connect to God, and you already have it. And I want to leave you with this as you now discuss. You and I are shaped by who we listen to and what we read. Our minds are shaped by what we read and who we listen to. If there is anyone in your life, I don't care if it's on social media or I don't care if it's another pastor, I really don't. If you're listening to anybody who is saying or even hinting that you need more than what you already have, another special experience to have special privileges or a special revelation or secret knowledge about who God is, reject them. Honestly, reject them. Stop listening to them. Stop entertaining them. Listen to those who point you exclusively to Christ. And Anchor Point, you know this. Anchor Point is a church that we're consumed with Christ. We've been filled with Christ, and we take our cues from him, from his word. It's all Christ. And so be filled with him to live the Christian life. Love you all. I hope you have a great discussion together. Blessings.